Hi everybody, welcome back. I figure it's time we take a look at what's been happening with our permaculture garden and a few tests we're just setting up for growing with ormus. So let's take a look at the field and see where we're at. So here's the permaculture garden. As you can see, I haven't actually planted anything. Some seeds seem to have introduced themselves. There's lots of wheat growing everywhere and I think someone's managed to get into the permaculture garden. But it's growing really well. If you look at the wheat around it, this all got a little bit of nutrients around here. Whereas over in the field you can see there's patches. We're going to explore that in a bit. I'm just leaving this to grow for now because actually, although it's eating up some nutrients, it is stimulating the biosystem in the soil. And as soon as I'm ready, I'm going to cut it all back down and plant some seedlings in there, which hopefully will be going in this week. Let's take a look at the field. So here we go. This is the wheat growing on soil that never got any nutrients. This bit didn't have any donkey droppings and manure on it. Whereas if we come wandering out here, you can see there are these patches where there's these great big rises in plant growth, and in fact some of it over there is even starting to turn to corn where it's had some nutrients. Now those patches are where lumps of manure went down or sacks of manure went down, and it's really affected the growth rate. So this is high mineral content, low nutrient content ground, and then over there we've got big lumps where it's growing nicely. You can see our tree stump in the middle of our datum. Surprisingly, the big mounds of rocky earth have done way better than the standard ground, and the same over there. I'll take a photo from the roof later so you can have a quick look at that. Yeah, you can really see the difference from up here. It's not so obvious from the ground anymore. Over here, massive growth on what was basically just subsoil and rubble. Short growth and then big growth. I think all got flattened in the rain yesterday, so they've all fallen over. But there's the bigger patches there and there and there, and the same on the back. Those bits of ground were subsoil, and the fact that the subsoil has grown so well says that the nutrients has been depleted almost completely out of the surface soil, and there's a little bit left lower down, and it makes a big difference. Now this area, let's get you somewhere you can see this all properly. Now let's try this from here. So all this lot, this has got alfalfa growing in it, our favourite alfalfa, right through here. See there's a patch of corn there, so we've got this strip that runs out over to here somewhere where we planted alfalfa. Now, there's loads of things growing on this piece of ground. I didn't add any nutrients to it, didn't do anything with it. We just kind of left it as was, turned it over and seeded it. Now, let's have a closer investigate. Plenty of alfalfa growing and some other purple flowering grasses by the looks of it. No idea what they are. Quite a few other plant species have come up. Okay. So it's all fairly even as we come through here. Now you notice there are some sticks. Okay, this end hasn't done as well, but it's trying, it's getting there. Okay, what I've done, and in fact I did this yesterday, was divided this plot up into bits so that we can monitor it. I've then taken the rest of the manure, which was in the pile over there, and I have fluffed it up and scattered it out across this area. So bay 1 had an extra dose of manure. Okay, you can see our stick here, comes through there, and to the sticks here. Right, and I carried on across bay 2. So then bay 1 got 50 ml of ormus, probably a little bit less. About 40 ml of ormus went onto that in a nice dilute solution, and a little bit more came over here just because we need to get some ormus in here. This bay then has just the extra manure, so we can compare fertilised ground with and without ormus. And then this next bay didn't get anything at all. This is staying just as it was. And then the last bay got 50 ml of ormus. Okay. I took a little bit and dropped it around the tree, and a few baby trees over there. So again, probably about 40 mil of humus went onto this piece of ground. So we can have a look at the growth rates and what happens now when we've got nutrients poor soil with humus, enriched soil and enriched soil with humus. A little bit like the test that we did before on the original set of videos with the time lapse. Not sure if anyone's really seen that. I know a few thousand people have seen that, but it's on another YouTube channel that I can't get into anymore. So I'm going to do a quick cut and edit. Now, what are we doing with this? We could just allow this all to grow, but we've already got more growth on this end than we have on this end. And what I'm actually setting up here is a cover crop. I want a green fertilizer cover crop before I plant my main produce. So far, this has all grown really nicely. And what I'm going to do is get a sickle and cut all of this down to the ground and walk around on it and pretend that we are a herd of animals. So we've eaten the grass, we've eaten the plants, and we've left our waste on it. And we've fertilised and nutriated the ground. Nutriated? Is that even a word? The other effect that animals have is to stomp on everything and squash it. So unlike conventional farming where we're growing plants and then taking them off, we're actually going to leave them there. So I'm going to cut all this lot, knock it all down to the floor, give it 2 or 3 days, and then we're going to plant new seeds in there. And we will have a look at the recovery rate of the plants that are underneath and the growth rate of our set of seeds that will all go in on the same day. This bit through here, this strip, this is our control. This is what happens if you just leave it alone. Not really sure what to do with it yet. Might end up cutting it all and turning it into green compost and planting some things on it just because, but I haven't really decided. And this area here, I think we'll just leave this piece alone and we'll make this our control. So far so good. Now, I'm going to go and buy some seeds and then we'll come back and in a few days time we'll have a look and see this all prepped up ready for the next round of growing.